In Port Charles, a new air of uncertainty swept through the hospital today as an unexpected tragedy unfolded, setting off a wave of dread and suspicion. The atmosphere that had seemed festive with recent good news was soon replaced by an ominous silence as doctors and family members attempted to piece together what had gone wrong. Earlier in the day, Sam had shared the exciting news of her engagement to Dante with her mother, Alexis. Yet, this joy was short-lived, as Sam's health took a sudden and drastic turn shortly after. It began when Alexis, eager to spread her daughter's happiness, found herself abruptly escorted out of Sam's hospital room by the rushing medical staff. Jason, who was just about to bring Danny and Scout in to see their mom, immediately sensed that something was off. He watched the flurry of activity around Sam's room and knew from Portia and Elizabeth's urgent expressions that Sam was in serious trouble. Thinking quickly, Jason sent the kids to Bobby to keep them shielded from what was becoming a crisis. Inside Sam's room, it was a tense fight against time. Lucas joined Portia and Elizabeth, all determined to do everything they could to revive Sam, who had suddenly gone pale and unresponsive. The medical team worked relentlessly, administering compressions and attempting to stabilize her. Yet as the minutes ticked on, the glimmer of hope began to fade. Portia, her face lined with exhaustion and sorrow, finally began to come to terms with what was happening. But Lucas refused to give in so easily. Driven by a fierce determination, he continued his efforts, his persistence a small flicker in a moment that seemed hopeless. Finally, after 30 excruciating minutes, Lucas called it, his voice heavy as he announced, Sam's time of death, 5:48 p.m. Portia's steady hand on his shoulder couldn't lighten the weight of the moment. In the hospital hallway, Jason and Alexis, barely holding themselves together, absorbed the news with quiet disbelief, caught between grief and unanswered questions. How could this have happened? Just hours before, Sam had been happily planning a future with Dante. The suddenness of her decline was jarring, unnatural even. While the initial cause of death is being listed as an embolism, some are beginning to question if there's more to it. The recent unexplained complications with Lulu's ventilator had Lucas on edge, stirring suspicions that someone might be tampering with life-saving equipment in the hospital. Now, as they look into Sam's case, the idea that her embolism might not be as simple as it seems grows more plausible. Could Sam and Lulu be victims of the same enemy lurking in Port Charles? And if so, why? If someone were deliberately targeting them, it would mean the hospital itself could be a dangerous place for those connected to certain individuals. One theory beginning to surface is that both women share a critical link. Dante. Their connection to him could have made them a target. Sam and Lulu both share a deep, enduring history with Dante, and whoever might wish harm upon him could be using his loved ones to send a grim message. In fact, this isn't the first time the specter of revenge has cast a shadow over Port Charles, but the stakes have never felt so personal. As the investigation continues, families and friends of both women are demanding answers, and the community waits in anxious anticipation. Could this be the beginning of something darker? A vengeful spirit hiding in plain sight, a potential killer with access to those vulnerable in the hospital's walls?